All right, Ian.
Yeah.
We love these gigantic corporate versus corporate battles that come up.
I don't.
We love taking sides because taking sides is what we do on the CU podcast when it comes to a $1 trillion corporation versus a $1 billion corporation.
So basically, Epic Games is suing Apple for the removal of Google. Now for the removal of Fortnite from the App Store and the Google Play Store. So if somehow you've missed this, here's what's gone down.
It's only happened the past like 4 days. This has gone down.
Here's what's happened. Yeah, it's big. I'm just saying, if you follow this stuff online frequently, you may know about this. But if not,
how did it start, Ian?
What happened was basically Epic put an option in Fortnite on mobile phones that you could buy your V-Bucks, which is the currency that you use in Fortnite to buy skins and dances and things
how
like
they
that.
Make their money.
Yeah, how they make their money. It's how you buy your cosmetic shit. Normally you'd buy them through the Apple Store. Well, Apple gets a 30% cut
Of any transaction. That's for buying a song, buying a movie, anything. Game.
So Epic, thinking we don't want Apple to be taking our money, put a direct payment option in, and you would get your V-Bucks at a discount.
Thinking, hey, I'm getting a discount, I'm getting more. Why not? I'll just go through through the app.
And through that option, Epic would get all of the money. Well, Apple immediately said, "Oh no," and pulled.
That's how Mr. Apple said it.
No,
with his top hat.
Oh no. And pulled Fortnite from the App Store. Epic responded 1 hour later with a lawsuit ready to go.
Oh, they knew it.
And a mock
the 1984 commercial.
a mock
parody.
Basically a parody of the famous Apple 1984 commercial
that Apple put out as a diss against IBM's stranglehold on the computer market. So they kind of reversed it onto Apple's stranglehold of apps, which is what this is kind of about.
Same thing happened with the Google Play Store.
So Google's like, all right. Google called Apple and said, hey, we're going to do this too. We're going to be, because this is bad for us if they get away with this.
So immediately people were picking sides. And I at first I didn't care. Epic is a game maker, but they are a $1 billion company. They make plenty of money. To me, this was
make Unreal.
Yeah, this was me watching two brats just fight over shit, and it was kind of annoying to watch everyone immediately treat it like sports. However, after sitting there for a day and reading takes on it,
it was weird. It was weird. Just real quick, sorry, Ian. It was weird to see people say, "Well, they broke Apple's terms of service." It's like, why are you taking
right
Apple's side? And why are you? I
was never pro Apple, but it's hard for me to get right behind Epic too, just because it's
I get that. We'll get into who's probably in the right and wrong here legally, but why would you automatically assume Apple should be able to take whatever they want?
No.
Apple has a monopoly on apps and the platform, which we'll get into.
It's one of those things where Apple is the bad guy, but I didn't really necessarily see a good guy in the situation.
But to automatically just go behind Apple, I thought was the weirdest thing ever.
Apple fans are very, very weird.
Because Apple...
And I have an iPhone. But I have an iPhone because it's what I know. I don't own any other Apple products.
Apple is the Orwellian company they railed against in the 80s. They are now that.
So, So my thinking is, after reading a bunch of people's opinions, I do realize that while I don't necessarily have to root for Epic in this scenario, if they can get this 30% cut to, if they can help negotiate this or enact some change where the 30% cut is no longer the standard.
Sure.
That is good for many of my friends who are independent developers. All people who are developers, especially the smaller developers.
It's good for everyone.
It's good for everyone because they will make more money.
And then you don't have to charge as much to make up the problem. That's the whole thing about the Epic Store going down to 12%. It's like developers keep more. You can undercut the Steam price. Everyone wins. It's competition. And obviously it was a calculated move that Epic knew they were going to pull. They knew it.
This has probably been in the works for at least a month.
And I don't know. I don't know what this is going to. What they're going to probably do is, I know Apple. They're always trying to do anti-monopoly lawsuits against Apple. This probably goes towards that, where like there's no other way they can compete on an Apple device except through iOS. That's part of it. It's like it's not the same as Google and Android, because Android is many companies making Android phones and devices. You can buy stuff for Google Play Store, not just on a phone, on any Google Android device. So it's different than Apple, where you have to play ball not just through Apple's interface, but Apple's devices. Apple not just owns the store, they basically tell you how to make the merchandise to come into their store. Like it really is a monopoly for a platform that we have not seen before to that extent now. So I think that's what obviously Epic is trying to do. They're trying to break that. They're trying to have someone come in and say, this is no good. This is a monopoly. This is anti-capitalism to the extreme when it comes to that. But I guess no one saw that the nuke that Apple was going to drop in response to the lawsuit. And that's where this has totally changed, and people are like, what the fuck's going on the past couple days?
Yeah, so Apple has threatened to boot Epic and the Unreal Engine off of Mac and iOS.
Any Epic dev tool, like that's...
Yeah, and I don't think they have the legality to do that, but I also... I'm not very smart in those matters. It's also extremely petty, because not everything made with the Unreal Engine is owned by Epic. The Unreal Engine is something that any developer can use or license out to make their own games. So to do that is to punish people who have nothing to do with the ongoing spat.
And Epic had to reveal this. Epic wrote in a court filing that Apple said its membership in the developer program will be terminated as of August 28th. According to Epic, Apple's move threatens not only Fortnite, but also every game that uses Unreal Engine. By August 28th, Apple will cut off Epic's access to all development tools necessary to create software for Apple's platforms, including for the Unreal Engine Epic offers to third-party developers, which Apple has never claimed violated any Apple policy. So if you're a dev, then it's like, well, if I got to do an update and I'm use the Unreal Engine,
you're fine.
Or if I'm already developing something, or like you can't do anything anymore. If your membership is terminated, you may no longer submit apps to the App Store, and your apps still available for distribution will be removed. So you're wiping out, I don't know how many games and apps use Unreal Engine, but it's probably not a small amount. Obviously, Unity probably uses the most probably at this point, but obviously...
I mean, for small developers, Unity is a big one, but Unreal Engine is definitely used.
So this is why they're fast-forwarding. They're going into court like next week to like...
Oh, wow.
Because this is serious.
Yeah, they're moving.
They're looking for an injunction to say this is bullshit. Apple can't do this. So obviously the Fortnite lawsuit itself, that might go on rage on forever. That one. This one though, a judge might say, no, this is bullshit. You can't do this. Like this. Otherwise, you're going to have literally apps disappear from the store.
Sure. Epic says Apple has become what it once rallied against, the behemoth seeking to control markets, block competition, and stifle innovation. Epic alleged in its suit. Apple is bigger, more powerful, more entrenched, and more pernicious than the monopolists of yesteryear. At a market cap of nearly $2 trillion, Apple's size and reach far exceeds that of any technology monopolist in history.
So even if you're like, well, Epic isn't necessarily the good guy here, but if Epic wins this for the little guy, Epic's the good guy in helping to get rid of some of this monopoly.
Epic's the good guy in this scenario. It's just hard to sometimes admit that in a world of corporate shit slinging, that there is someone that you would back more than the other.
But the 30% take, which is now, I don't know what Nintendo takes.
30. We're going to get to that.
Oh, they do. So 30% was established as just some sort of weird norm that I don't know where it came from in terms of digital. I got to go back in history and say, what was the first 30% take? Was that, I don't know, the Xbox Live Store? I don't know where that came from, and how that was basically probably a handshake agreement behind the scene between everyone. Hey, we're all going to do 30%. We all win. We're not going to undercut each other.
Apple Store was, I think, probably the first, honestly.
Was that before the Xbox Live Arcade?
I would think so.
Or around the same time?
I think. Yeah, or you're right. I mean, close to it.
So we're talking mid-2000s.
Yeah. I was reading an article on Ars Technica, and they were wondering, though, aloud, which is fair, why Epic is, going after the App Store and the Google Play Store, and not the consoles. Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo all take 30%. I think there's a couple of reasons. One is simply you can't fight a million battles at once. You've got to fight. It would not be smart for them to take on
sure,
Apple and Google and Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo at the same time. There's no benefit to that.
Sure.
But the other reason is, and whether or not I necessarily agree, I believe in some of this. I still think the 30% is too high. But Epic's Tim Sweeney did actually say something about it. This is the quote from that article. There's a rationale for the 30% fee on console, where there's enormous investment in hardware, often sold below cost, and marketing campaigns and broad partnership with publishers. Basically, you're getting something in return for your 30%.
I didn't have to put up for any of the hardware. They put up.
You're selling your hardware at a loss. I'm on your hardware. Okay, you can have a little bit of this. You constantly promote me in your store. We do cross-branding promotions, partnerships.
Sure.
That's basically what he's saying. So, but on open platforms, 30% is disproportionate to the cost of the services these stores perform, such as payment processing, download bandwidth, and customer service. So,
you don't get anything extra versus the consoles, what he's saying.
I think the 30% is a bit much across the board, especially for smaller developers, but he does, I think, have at least some points that on the systems you're getting something for that money.
So this might have come from, I'm guessing, let's see, was Steam before the Xbox Live Arcade? Steam came out September 12th, 2003.
Yeah, that's before XBLA, I think.
That was a couple years later.
I think.
On the original Xbox. So anyway, so we're talking something that's been around for like 16, 17 years. Was Xbox Live Arcade.
I'm looking.
Okay. So that's established, and then everyone sees, well, they're doing 30%. I'm going to do 30%. We're going to do it on Android, devices, Google Play. We're going to do it on iTunes, and then and I guess you go from there. So, yeah, this is going to get ugly. This is a lot. This is billions of dollars at stake over time.
May 12th, 2004 was Xbox Live.
So right after Steam. So that's what we're talking about. Like, this is like digital. The digital distribution gets ramped up. If you don't count like iTunes on iPods and things like that. So yeah, this is going to get ugly. This is going to go on for a year, and yeah, I don't know what's going to happen if they win. What happens is Apple then have to automatically negotiate prices depending upon developer. Like, I have no idea how this works. But again, they do have a monopoly on, like, you cannot get their app via iOS, and like, they own the phones. It's locked in. It's all Apple. And I think that's where they're going to have the strength in the argument, where it's like, well, we have this version of our game. We can't sell it anywhere else.
Right.
It's the only place we can sell it, and we don't have a choice. You can make the argument for the console. Oh, there's different consoles you can, or you can do it on the computer. So yeah, it's interesting. Maybe take some of that extra money, Epic, and you finish your Unreal game. How about that, buddies?